looking at it too, Shadowspar. The Mandalay is very pretty. Okay, here we go. So, first lesson we're going to learn about today, chat, is we are going to learn about fuel scooping. That is what we are going to learn about. Because I saw someone in chat said that they roasted themselves fuel scooping. So, lesson number 1 for Ember's School of Elite Dangerous. By the way, mods, if you could please change the stream category if you have not already. Oh wait, Heckle, are you able to change stream categories? Can you change the stream category to Elite for me? Alright, so.
Loading gear retracted.
Thank you, Rygad. So, first and foremost, you need a fuel scoop. Obviously. For those of you that don't know, a fuel scoop is an optional module. It does not come stock on ships. It doesn't come stock on any ships that are not pre-built ships. So, that is something you will have to purchase. You can get them at the majority of starports. Most starports sell fuel scoops. The key thing to remember with fuel scoops is you want to try as best as you can to get a fuel scoop the same class or number as your frameshift drive. So, for example, my frameshift drive, as you can see, is a 5, a class 5 frameshift drive. So, I would want to try, at minimum, to have a class 5 fuel scoop. Now, I went bigger, I went with a class 6, which just means it's better. So, what does it mean with the classes? Class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5, class 6, etc., etc. Basically, with a fuel scoop, it determines how quickly the fuel scoop operates, how much fuel it takes in per second. And since you are flying around in a star's corona, then obviously you want to try and refuel as quickly as possible so you don't cook your ship by sitting in the corona of a star for too long. So that's why it's always best to try, if you can, to get a fuel scoop at least the same class as your ship. And as far as grade, which is the letter, you always want to A grade. If you can. Whenever you can, A grade your fuel scoop. Again, it just makes it makes the fuel intake happen faster. And again, refueling faster is always better because you're not wasting your time and you're not cooking your ship. Now, if you cannot get a fuel scoop the same class as your frameshift drive, that's okay. That's okay if you can't do that. The one thing to remember is avoid the class 1 fuel scoops at all costs. Class 1 fuel scoops are so abysmally slow, even on a Sidewinder. They're terrible. No. And you go, I will ditch that. That will be the next lesson. We'll do module priority next. So yeah, avoid class 1 fuel scoops at all times. They are absolutely useless. And try to get your fuel scoop as close to the class of your frameshift drive as you can. If it's a little bit lower, that's fine. It just means your fuel will be, you will fuel a little bit slower. Now, how do you actually fuel scoop? Let's find out, shall we, chats? We're gonna jump to a fuel star really quick. So, as a reminder, fuel stars are KGB, FOA, and M class stars. Guys, Lena, you're welcome. Oh, you made affiliate. That is wonderful. I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad we were able to help you with that. I am so incredibly glad we were able to help you with that. Congratulations. I know you're gonna be I know your stream is gonna do wonderful now. Okay, Jack. So, let me get rid of my mail here. Yes, weekly upkeep. And, oh, I made 2 million credits. Neat. Cool. Okay. So, how do you scoop fuel? Well, very simple. Very simply, throttle up. Now, you see this little yellow line going around the star. You just keep your nose above that line and just fly around the star. And the fuel scoop will work all on its own. That's what happens. You just keep your nose above this yellow line. You can go full throttle. You are in close to the star. Your speed will not go above 0.33 C. So you don't have to worry about shooting over it. You can just keep going round and round the star as long as you need to. You do need to be moving. You do want to keep moving while you're fuel scooping. Your fuel scoop will work a little bit more efficiently if you're moving versus just sitting still. But you just keep your nose above this little yellow line while you're flying around the star. And you can throttle off. Yes. Thank you, Heckle. Intro, you can throttle. You certainly can. There's nothing wrong with it. The benefit to maintaining throttle while you are fuel scooping is if you do get too hot. Like, obviously, I'm not getting hot because I have engineered my ship. Yes, yellow line is the exclusion zone. The reason why my ship is not getting hot is because I have actually engineered my power plant to run cooler. So I do not get hot while fuel scooping. For someone that has not engineered your ship, you're gonna get hot. Your ship is going to get hot if you have not engineered your ship, because again, you're sitting in a star's corona scooping fuel. So the reason why I suggest keep moving, even at a reduced speed. Even at a reduced speed, it's fine. The reason why I say keep moving is because if you need to, if you start getting really hot, once your heat starts hitting up into 85 or 90 degrees, you can immediately peel off. You can immediately peel off from the star, and your heat will go down. You wait for your heat to go down to a more normal level, and then you can dive back in and resume your fuel scooping. No, you cannot scoop from gas giants. Gas giants are planets, they are not stars. So no, you cannot scoop from gas giants. You can only fuel scoop from stars. Now, what will happen if you cross this little yellow exclusion zone line?
Warning. Temperature critical.
That's what happens. You cross the exclusion zone, and you get yanked out of Super Cruise. You go into you do an emergency stop. That's what happens if you cross that little yellow line. Now, how do you recover from this? Well, it's quite simple. First, you have to wait for your frameshift drive to cool down. Yes, that's what the line is for. So, yeah, how do you get out of this situation? Well, this is how you get out of it. Now, bearing in mind, I'm going to go through the steps just in case you're someone who you had another system targeted, and you were planning on jumping as soon as you finished fuel scooping. Well, you don't really want to do that when you're in the exclusion zone of a star, because it's very hot, and you will very likely overheat yourself. Or, if you call one of us, the fuel rats, to come and help you, we may need you to jump out of the exclusion zone of a star. So how do you exit from the exclusion zone of a star? It's actually very simple. First, you have to untarget. Say I had this system targeted for my next jump. Well, first you have to untarget your next jump. To do this, you simply just target the main star of the system you are currently in. It will be at the top of this list, always. the main star of the system you are currently in will always be at the top of this list. So, you target it. Now, next you engage your supercruise. If you already have your supercruise bound to a specific key just for supercruise, you can just push that. If you have basic controls and you have not messed around with any of your key bindings and made any fine-tune adjustments for your controls, and it's the stock default controls that the game came with, you will press J to engage your frameshift drive. And because you are not targeting another system, it does a supercruise engagement. Now, see how it says align with escape vector? You see this little compass at the bottom left corner of the radar. Right out, shoot, I can't show you. The bottom left corner, directly to the left of the radar. You see that little blinking white, bluish white circle? That is your compass. And if you notice, in that compass is a little dot that is white or that is, hang on, let me target something else that's in the system here. There we go, target that one. So see how that little white dot is either solid or is hollow. See how it's hollow? So if that little dot is hollow, that means your target is behind you. If the little dot is white, that means the target is in front of you. That's what that little white dot means. So if you have targeted something, that tells you where your target is. Now, to jump out, engage your supercruise, notice the little white dot. That little white dot is telling you to align with your escape vector, which is this. You put your escape vector right in the middle of your canopy and throttle up. And once you reach speed, you will jump into supercruise. And once you're in supercruise, fly away from the star. Usually, if we are rescuing you as a fuel rat, we will ask you to fly approximately 5 light seconds away from the star. So, that is how you use your fuel scoop, and that is how you can escape from the star if you accidentally smack into it. It's fairly easy, but if you've never done it before, it can be a bit intimidating. And, Angel, no, I'm perfectly good on my carrier. Thank you, though, I appreciate it. Now, one last thing when it comes to scooping, when it comes to fuel scooping. Doing up your map. This is something that you can do as a help. So, when it comes to the galaxy map, you can filter it. You can filter your galaxy map to only show the fuel stars. And you can set up this map, you can set up your route so that when you plot a route somewhere, you will only jump to systems that have fuel stars as the main star. And thus you can refuel with your fuel scoop after every single jump. The way to do this is very simple. You go into the galaxy map, and you go to Pilots Federation, right here. Okay? You select your Pilots Federation, and then you go down here to Star Class. Now, in Star Class, you simply select the first 7 stars. KGBFOAM. Just these. Don't select any other ones. I myself choose non-sequence stars because I use neutron boosts frequently. So I need to know about the neutrons, and those are non-sequence stars. But for you who do not use neutron boosts frequently, don't worry about the non-sequence stars. Just worry about KGB FO. That's it. And after you've selected all of those, At the very bottom of this list, you will see Apply Filter to Root. Select that. Because then, when you go and plot a route somewhere... Actually, let me find somewhere far away. So now, when I go to plot a route somewhere... There we go. That. Oh, it wants me to jump to Jackson's. Okay, hang on. Let me try something else. I don't know why it wants me to... I know why it wants me to jump to Jackson's. Okay. Let's try here. See if it does that again. Still doing it. Hang on. I gotta get further away. There we go. There we go. Now. So. God, I didn't realize I could jump that far from Jackson's. Okay. So. It's taking me 2 jumps from Jackson's. Notice the star I jumped to after I jumped from Jackson's Lighthouse is... Oh, you can't see it. This is a Class M star. So, a Class N, as you remember, is a fuel star. So that means my jump from Jackson's takes me to a fuel star. So that's where that is where setting your route with KGB foam is beneficial, especially if you're doing long distance trips. If you're an explorer and you're going to you're just out and exploring, knowing how to set up your map to display the fuel stars and being able to route with fuel stars can be very important. It's covering the star info? Okay. I'll put you guys down here, I think. Now, I'm going to shrink you guys. You guys are going to get a little small for this. So, this is, you can see, this is a Class M star, which means it is a fuel star. So again, being able to set up your filters and apply these filters to your route can be very useful, particularly if you are exploring. If you're just kind of bebopping around in the bubble, you may not necessarily need to apply the filters to your route. But if you are, needing to find a fuel star to refuel, and you have a fuel scoop, you can use these map filters to locate the closest fuel star to your location. So, say I got rid of the fuel stars, okay? Okay. I've selected all stars. So every single star is on display. Well, I might not necessarily be able to tell which one is a fuel star and which one is not. Because the colors don't necessarily tell you what it is. Not necessarily. T-Tauri stars visually can look very similar. See, this is a brown dwarf star. It is an L-class star. So, but if you look at the map it looks red. So you think, oh, that's a fuel star, but not necessarily. So if you need to locate a fuel star where you are, you can go into your star filter. You KGB foam. Whoop, now I know. There's the fuel star that's close by to me. So that's where the benefit of filtering for fuel stars can be. Yeah, the problem is they tend not to stick. So your best option, if you are going to filter the stars and apply that filter to your route, is to do your star filter, apply to route, and then plot your route to where you're going. Fairly often when you do that, the star filter will stick. It may not. Its Elite has been kinda bad these days when it comes to the map filter sticking, but if you set your filter, then plot your route to a star, it should still stick for the next time you plot your route. Okay? So, chat, that is how you refuel with the fuel scoop and how you can set up your map to only display and route you through fuel stars if you happen to go on a long distance trip or need to find a fuel star. So that is lesson 1 for Ember Teaches Elites.